What up, peeps and peepettes? MorbTron back today with more Destiny 2, and today I'm going to be talking about something that's been on my mind for a while, ever since the new roadmap has been released, the development roadmap for Destiny 2, and that's what's coming in September for us. Now, granted, we do have a whole DLC that we don't even know much about yet to discover things about, actually get the DLC, play that DLC, conquer it, and look forward to the future. But something that really piqued my interest rather, for the September update on the roadmap is randomized weapons. I'm going to be going over like 3 ways that Bungie could potentially be thinking of randomizing weapons and giving pros and cons for each of those options. There could also be more. Of course, I could just be completely wrong in all of this, but this is just kind of the best ways that I could see Bungie going about it. If I'm completely wrong, oh well, but I think it's got to be one of these 3 options. The first option being the Destiny 1 style random roll. So basically a copy-paste of what we had from Destiny 1. So the stats are the same from weapon to weapon, meaning that the base stats on a Better Devils will always be the same, no matter how many times you get a Better Devils, and that kind of goes for all of these 3 options, because randomizing base stats would be a nightmare for balancing. So you'd have the perks, the barrel or sight, and the mag type all randomized, and then the mod on the weapon would just be what we have now. Exactly what we have now for the mods, but we'd have randomization like we did in Destiny 1. The second option would be what I'm calling like a mods 2.0 thing, if Bungie decides to call that weapon randomization, and that would be only the perk would be randomized, and the perk would be a mod that is changeable. So the barrel or sight would be exactly what we have now in Destiny 2, where you get a couple options to choose from, but they're locked on the weapon. And same goes for the magazine, but the perk, like having rampage or explosive rounds or kill clip or things of that nature, would be a mod that is randomized when the weapon drops, or you acquire the weapon for the first time, or just acquire the weapon. But it is one that you could change out to whatever you wanted to either fit the meta or just a playstyle that you want to go with for that weapon. And the third way that I could see Bungie doing this would be a combination or a compromise between both of those things. So you'd have randomized sights / barrels and magazine, but the perk is the mod that is changeable, just like in the mods 2.0 style that I just got done talking about. So you would have, you know, weapon randomization kind of from Destiny 1 in the barrels and the sights. So like on a hand cannon, you could really be shooting for like rifled barrel or something along those lines, and then hoping you get like drop mag or high caliber rounds, and then the perk being explosive rounds, kill clip, rampage, that sort of thing, could be a mod that is changeable. That's kind of where I'm going with that scenario. So, pros and cons for all of these. Going back to the Destiny 1 style random rolls. The pros to that is that it's what the majority of the player base that's been extremely vocal about this change, that's what they want. They want the grind from Destiny 1 where they could chase a god roll endlessly until they finally get what they're looking for, which is a lot of potential playtime for the game. You know, you could get exactly what you're looking for right away. It might take you years of playtime, because it's random. The cons to that is that it's extremely hard to balance. In Destiny 1, Bungie had to nerf or buff entire archetypes or entire weapon classes to effectively change one weapon that was either overpowered or underpowered. And we're talking about weapons like Suros, Regime, or Thorn from Year 1, Destiny 1, where to effectively nerf Suros Regime, all auto rifles became garbage. And then the same thing goes for hand cannons. in Destiny 1 when Thorn and the Last Word were incredibly overpowered. All hand cannons got worse when those two specifically were nerfed. And in Destiny 2, Bungie has said they can change each weapon separately, and we have seen that with exotic tuning. But so far we haven't seen it happen with any legendaries. Every change to legendaries has either been an entire archetype of weapons, like precision damage, auto rifles, the 450 auto RPM auto rifles like Uriel's Gift, or things like that. Or we've seen entire changes to perks, like explosive rounds getting nerfed, or changed, not exactly nerfed, but just changed in the Gotta Go Fast update. So that's kind of where we sit there with that choice. So it's what people want, but is it really what people need for a better balanced game? Who knows? Pros for the second option, the mods 2.0, is that it'd be extremely easy to balance comparatively to the Destiny 1 style random rules. Less variables for Bungie to work with, the better as far as balance goes for any developer. It would give us a more level playing field in the Crucible and make sure that nothing was extremely overpowered for long, again like Thorn or Suros Regime in Year 1 of Destiny 1. It'd also make it so that if you had extremely bad luck and never got a God Roll weapon, all you'd have to do is swap out your mod on your weapon, and you'd have the God Roll. Now, the cons to that is that exactly. It's not what the player base is looking for at all, and it is something that will upset a lot of people if only the perks are changeable. There will be nothing to really grind for as far as searching for that God Roll, as all a player will have to do is wait for the weapons to drop once, and then just swap out the mod. The mods could be something that we could grind for as well. You know, so getting the weapon might be easy, but getting the mod might be difficult. But players really want shiny objects to chase and not, you know, blue or purple squares to change out in their weapons. Collecting 3 blue versions of a good mod just to turn it into a +5 power level purple version of the mod really isn't fun. And then we go on to the third option, which is personally my favorite of the 3. The compromise between the two options, it gives players God rolls to aim for, but still provides customization to players to help compete better with people that might have a true God roll, even if they don't. In my opinion, a very large power gap in the Crucible based solely on what stats your weapon has is pretty lame. So this option would give, you know, players still a God roll to aim for, but if you don't get a God roll, you could at least be slightly competitive with them in the Crucible if you could swap out the perk and at least get close. The cons to that is that it will still be more difficult for Bungie to balance versus what we currently have. So there might be some hiccups along the way. There might be a slight learning curve for Bungie to get used to as far as balancing goes. But there needs to be a change from what we have now, and I think this would be a better option overall. And it's also not exactly what some people are asking for. I'm sure the people that are, you know, basically say, make Destiny 2 just Destiny 1 with better graphics wouldn't like this. But I think, honestly, it's a pretty small percentage of the community. I think a lot of people, given just a change at all, will be really, really happy with what we get. And it's a good middle ground. You know, you can't please everybody, but this will still give casual players the chance to be competitive, or just people that are incredibly unlucky. But it still gives people the goal to aim for that God roll weapon. But let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. Is option 3 really your best bet for this? Or is there some other way that I haven't thought of or haven't mentioned here that could be even better? But if you like this, you wanted me to do more of these like theoretical option things with Destiny's future, please let me know by leaving a like and you know, share it out if you want to. If you like what I have to say here, I would greatly appreciate it. Any support is fantastic. But don't forget to have a good day, everybody, and I'll catch you all next time.